Mars is assertion, aggression, anger. It's power. We look at anybody's chart to see where Mars is, to see where they have power, where they have aggression and drive. And I thought that was interesting. I noticed, oh yeah, she just had Mars conjuncting the moon, because your natal moon is at 8 degrees of Aquarius. So that first full week of May, you were probably feeling rather hot in your body.
Yes.
Isn't it nice to know? It's like nothing was wrong. It's like, you were just manifesting this transit.
But does that mean that you've overreacted to a situation?
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. Because when Mars is there, that's aggression. On an emotional level, you certainly might have overly reacted to something. Now, the other thing that's interesting is that transiting Mars is going into the 4th house, because the cusp of your 4th house is 21 degrees of Aquarius. So Mars is going to come up to 21 degrees on the 29th and the 30th next week after you're home. You're going to get home on the 24th. Is that right? And then, even the 23rd. And then next week, when it's at 21, Mars is going to be crossing the cusp of your 4th house. The 4th house is the house of the home. So, and then it's going to be there for a while, because Mars is going to go into a retrograde loop. It's going to go into Pisces. See, the cusp of Pisces is right there. And then in the end of July, it's going to go retrograde at 10 degrees of Pisces. So that's 10 degrees. And then it's going to be here. It's going to go retrograde back to 0 degrees Pisces. And in October, it's going to be in your 4th house all the way through October. And then it's going to go direct again. And probably in November, it's going to move out of your 4th house.
And so that just means that during that period, I'm going to be more prone to feeling very angry and frustrated.
No, I would say that another way of thinking of it is you're going to have a lot of energy in relationship to the home. Right. So you're already working with a solicitor, with all this stuff is going on. Yes, Mars is anger, aggression, assertiveness, but it's not just that. It's drive. It's being assertive. It's having a lot of energy. It could be that you guys you've moved into the new place, and you're going to work your butt off in working on the new house. That would be a natural way of thinking of it. That you're just going to pour so much energy into the renovation of your home. And that's going to go all the way through November, early November, or the end of October, because Mars will do its retrograde loop there. Okay, the other interesting thing is that Uranus is transiting your 4th house of the home. That makes sense, because you just sold the home, or you're selling the home, you're moving into a temporary home, and Uranus is going to be there for 7 years. So the cusp of your 4th house, we said, is 21 degrees of Aquarius. So really, Uranus went there, though, I'd say it was like 2001. Maybe 2002, when Uranus was at 21 degrees, when Uranus crossed over into the 4th house of the home.
What does that mean?
Well, Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. It's the unusual one, the strange agent, the strange one, the one who wants to be unusual, different. Uranus is a change agent. It's like Aquarians can be going like this, all of a sudden, on a dime, they turn and they go in a different direction. It's like everybody's going, what happened? Why did she do that? Well, that's the nature of an Aquarian, because that's what Uranus does. It's marching along, all of a sudden, I'm going to go this. I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to do this. So it's very erratic behavior, up and down. Uranus goes into the 4th house of the home. There's a lot of changes in the home.
And that's from the last 2 years?
I think so. I think Uranus crossed 21 degrees Aquarius probably like 2001, something like that. It's going to be there, probably for another 5 years. It's going to be going through the 4th house of the home. It doesn't mean that you're going to have to keep moving, but just knowing there's going to be some changes and fluctuations in the home, so you're going to be having Uranus and Mars transiting through the 4th house. Okay? That's nice to know.
Okay. So does it mean anything that Saturn is in this one? Because you said this was the father thing and it's in Taurus. Is that Taurus?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Saturn's in Taurus by birth.
What does it mean for Taurus? Does it mean anything?
Well, it could. See, it's interesting because you have the sun over here in the second house, and the second house is Taurus. It's the five senses. So on the one hand, you have very strong ability in terms of manifesting resources, because Taurians want resources. They want to feel safe and secure. So that's one way of looking at it. And then to have Saturn there means you're learning lessons about Taurus. Another way of saying it is, well, you're very good. Again, like Sun being over in the second house, to have Saturn in Taurus means you can work very hard, because that's what Saturn is. Saturn is hard work. You can work very hard at manifesting the resources. Money, home, resources. Taurus and Cancer are the planets, the signs that rule the home. So home is very, very important for you to have Sun in the second house and Saturn being in Taurus. Again, what are the issues? Well, maybe it's overly important. Maybe you can work so hard at developing resources that you tend to ignore some of the other important things in your life. That might be a way of looking at it. See, there's many books, many astrology books. You could go buy a book. Saturn in the seventh house. You'll be a reliable worker. You'll be dependable. People with Saturn in this house work very hard and conscientiously in cooperation with others. Okay, things like that. Saturn and Taurus. Let's see what they say. So this is the way to study astrology. You see where the planets are. You hear them on the tape. Okay, Saturn and Taurus. Let's see what it says. Indicates people who need discipline and hard work if they are to acquire material possessions. Strong need for financial and emotional security. Like I said, it's the same as the Sun in the second house. To have Sun in the second and Saturn in Taurus is very similar. You can work so hard, and you might overly focus on security, financial and emotional security. They cannot be at peace if practical affairs are not in order. When they are about 29 years old, these people seek stable career positions. Interesting. 29 as Saturn returns. So that's what they're saying. When Saturn comes back to the same position as in the year of your birth, you really want stability. That was again in 2000. I want security, I want a home, I want to feel stable, things like that. They're likely to be reliable and persistent in their careers, professions in banking, investment, insurance. So anyway, as Saturn is afflicted in Taurus, it's got a couple of afflictions because it apparently has two oppositions. A loose square to the moon. It's loose. There can be obstinacy and excessive materialism. That's what I was wondering. To have Sun in the second and Saturn in Taurus might mean that maybe you're overly focused on security, home, these kinds of things. That may be where the issue is with Saturn in Taurus. A burdening of oneself with material possessions instead of allowing things to flow from one so that new things can flow in. So anyway, you can pick up a book on astrology and look up all these things.
Yeah.
What else is, we're right at the end.
Yeah.
So what else is standing out to me? Well, Pluto conjuncted the Sun. We said back in 99 and 2000, at the same time, Pluto moved into the second house of money. Is money, possessions, it's Taurus. When Pluto's transiting through the second house, Pluto is the transformer, death, rebirth, transformation. It's transforming your attitudes about money, your attitudes about resources. So I think this fits in perfectly with what we just talked about, with Saturn in Taurus and the Sun in the second house. You can be really overly focused, having enough money, I'm secure, where it almost keeps you tied in. Well, Pluto, going through the second house, Pluto's a blowtorch. Pluto is Shiva. So Pluto wants to burn off some of the dross, some of the ways that you might be holding on to material possessions, to the need for security. Pluto is transforming your attitudes about money and resources, because that's what the second house is. It's money and resources. And Pluto going through there means it's transforming that. Yeah.
And that's what's happening at the moment, this period here.
Yeah, and it's going to last for a long time, because Pluto is the outermost planet in the solar system, and it moves very slowly. So the third house doesn't start until mid-Capricorn. And I'd say you probably got another 20 years of Pluto transiting the second house of money. And maybe you need it, with Saturn and Taurus and the Sun in the second house. See, I think this relates very strongly to the South Node in the 10th house. You've been the father, you've owned the factory, you've had major businesses, you were very smart with money, with managing people and businesses. So my feeling is the Sun in the second and Saturn in Taurus is very related to the South Node of past lives up here at career. You were the man.
So it's about accommodating that.
Yeah. Pluto going through here is transforming some of these, it's so important, because that's how it is for men. I need to be successful. I want money. And it's saying it's the past lives.
And the lesson is then to actually not remove these, but go against these.
Yeah, the tendency is I want to keep going. I want to go do it again.
Yeah.
I want to have a big career again. And no, we want to transform that. We want to let go. And you need to be the mom. Be in the home. You might work in the home. You don't have to completely let go of career. But the North Node of Destiny is in the 4th house. Well, we could easily talk another half hour about, stuff, because there's natal planets I didn't even touch on, and I didn't even touch on transiting Neptune, but, we got a good sense.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You see why it's absolutely essential to have it on tape.
Yeah.
And again, Leigh, I would go to another astrologer, especially with Jupiter coming to the midheaven, Saturn coming to the midheaven. I'd go every year. I'd get a reading once a year, because we're going to talk about your soul. And if you go for therapy, you pay, 90 euros for an hour. Why not?
Yeah, for this as well.
Yeah, for this as well.
Yeah.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you very much.